So I was just having a conversation with one of my buddies, and like I turned him on to The Secret. I was like, hey dude, check it out. And I was like trying to give supporting evidence for it. And I was like, you know, renewal, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. You know, clean the inside of the dish and then the outside will appear clean. If you murder in your heart, then you have committed murder. Like, it all starts with thought. And he basically was like, he's like, well, it's a start. And I was thinking about it, I was like, is that the epicenter of it? Is that where it begins? Like, is it spirit? Is it renewal of the spirit? Or like some spiritual version? But no, I decided that it is the start. It is all of it. Because the only thing that we have to interact in this plane with is our brain. That is our go-between. If there's no brain, there's no spirit, there's no body functioning, nothing. Like, it is literally the thing that we are going to navigate this plane with. That's it. There's reality, the world, and then there's us and how we interact with it. Our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions, and the belief systems that we have in it, in our mind, if those aren't absolutely congruent with reality, then it's going to be essentially like trying to navigate or going to California and trying to navigate with a map of Florida, right? We're going to be thinking there are valleys where there's rivers, and we're going to be thinking that there are rivers where there are mountains, and we get there and oh shit, there's mountains there. And I'm here to say that that is where it all starts. That's what has to be transformed, because it just all starts there, man. But this brings me to the next point. We think in images, okay? Which are brought about by words. It first goes words to an image, but that's a concept, right? So concepts are the tool for thought. And I'll give you an example of why I say this. Because they had, whenever the English settlers came over here, they went and were studying the Native Americans. And the Native Americans, the ones that were raised on the Indian reservations with the native tongues as their original language, none of them had a stutter. So that's kind of crazy. None of them had a stutter. Well, yeah, because none of them had a word. They didn't have a word for stutter. So if you don't have a word for it, how can you then have an image and a concept and then operate from it? So I'm saying, so concepts are the tool for thought. And if our concepts aren't held in clearly defined form with accurate definitions of words and all of this other stuff, then how can we expect that map of reality to be congruent? Not to mention that, how do we communicate with other people? And I have noticed that whenever you actually start digging into like definitions and breaking words down, and like mistake, well, slow it down, hyphenate it, mistake. It's a mistake. Okay, like I'm just saying, that puts an entire different spin on the word. And now it's related differently in my mind. But I'm saying, whenever people that, if you've done that work and looked into definitions and, you know, what the understanding is behind these concepts and beliefs and words and all this stuff, whenever you go to talk to other people who have not done it, I'm telling you, dude, it's like you're talking, they'll be using different words for the same, like you guys have basically two different words, two different meanings for the same word. And I'll tell you, you want to have breakdown of communication is whenever you guys think there are two different definitions for the same word. Because you'll be saying the same thing using different words, or be trying to say it with a specific word and it's not clicking in their mind because it's not even accurate, right? And who's right? Well, I'll tell you who's right. It's the person who's gotten his words out of the dictionary. That's what we've agreed on society and society standards. We are going to call this word, and this is going to be the definition of it. And if we can't communicate properly with clearly defined words and thoughts and concepts, then all breakdown of communication and ultimately society breaks down, because you need a written language, you need to be on the same page, and that's how you scale and build, or else you can't even coordinate. Dude, it's fucking crazy shit. I had somebody else, this is gonna be the last thing I say, but they're like, we was talking about the definition, or we was talking about, they believe that there's relapse. I said, well, I believe there's lapses, and I believe there's relapses in drinking and doing drugs. They're like, I don't believe in lapses. I'm like, well, sorry, dude, you don't get to argue with the fucking dictionary, bro. Because there's technically the word called lapse, which is like I lapsed in judgment. And then there's the word relapse, which is a total forsaking of the old principles and relapse into the old behavior. So sorry, dude. I mean, you don't get to argue with the words in the dictionary, bro. You just don't get to do it. I mean, you don't get to say, oh, that's the definition of elephant. I don't agree with that. You don't get to do it. I mean, you can, but I mean, you're free to evade, you know, digging into the words. You are free to evade, you know, learning. You're free to evade bettering yourself, but you're not free to evade the consequences, okay? But I don't know, this is on my mind. I think it's a pretty cool concept, especially where the mind is concerned and how it's kind of structured, and the psychology, how our minds are ordered, and how we move through this plane with thought first and words and then images and concepts. And that, I believe it all starts there. And I would like to hear an argument that would say that it starts somewhere else, but I don't think you can make one. But yeah, dude, with that being said, I am going to do a little bit more thinking. I'm open to other points of view. I want truth in my mind. I want facts in my mind. I don't want dog shit. Okay, but that's the best conclusion I've reached so far, and I think it's pretty fucking solid. But, alright, dude, let's fucking go, brother.